So it feels like it's been a genuine minute since I've actually made a video talking to you guys about what's going on with Richmond's injury list and what's going on with a couple of the players, especially the younger ones who have unfortunately suffered some longer term injuries. Again, there have been some really positive signs, so I just felt like I kind of had to give you guys an update here because I think we're going to get a select group of players back, hopefully all at the same time, where not only could these guys all be playing VFL together and really progressing their careers, but I think there's going to be something really enjoyable to watch for a couple of them. Again, there is one short-term one though, and that is Jaden Shaw, with it being reported that he will be returning from his calf injury in about 1 week or so. Again, I don't know what is going to go on with Jaden Shaw, and what I actually mean by that is I think our backline is so solidified right now and is so solid. The only move that changes up for me is Noah Bolter coming back in for Campbell Gray, and then when Noah Bolter is out with his personal issues, Campbell Gray comes back in. Again, I haven't been the biggest fan of Caleb Smith and what he's done in his career, but we cannot simply doubt that in the last couple of weeks he has actually been playing really good football and actually looks like he might develop into a really good footy player. Again, his kicking's been as the best that it's been. He's taken some really good marks. He's actually played a pretty good job when he's, Roller's been as a lockdown guy too. I don't know how Jaden Shaw gets into this backline. Again, if they want him in the backline, they'll find a way. Unfortunately, a guy like Caleb Smith will get dropped. Again, Luke Traynor could get dropped, even though he's not even really playing backline at the moment. But I actually just wonder if they're going to test Jaden Shaw out in a different position. Again, some people have been saying he might go in the midfield. I've floated the idea about sending him up forward. Again, other than Tom Lynch and 23-year-old, 24-year-old Ryan Mansell, everyone else is 18 or 19 years old up there. And I actually think he could be a guy who, in my opinion, could go up forward. They don't seem to really try him anywhere though, so I'm going to be interested to see how that's going to go, but he'll probably just get thrown back into the back line. Again, we got 2 players though, or technically 3, that are due back in 3 to 5, 3 to 6 weeks. In, of course, Sam Lawler. Again, he'll come straight back into the AFL. He's one of our better players, one of our better forwards. Hopefully eventually he'll play some midfield. That is very obvious, but the other 2, Josh Smiley, who is 3 to 5 weeks, he's actually listed with conditioning, and Taj Houghton, of course, ACL. Now, Josh Smiley is listed as conditioning because he has suffered about 18 hamstrings since being at the Tigers, which I don't think was a previous injury that he had before getting to Richmond. Again, Sam Lawler did his hamstring, and I believe he did the same hamstring that he had previously before he was at the Tigers. But Josh Smiley has just had a really unlucky run with these random hamstring injuries, and I think from reports he is technically supposed to be ready in a week, but they are really pushing it out because he just had no pre-season, he's had no time to train. I think eventually he'll come back on limited time in the VFL again, and I'm fine with that. I mean, you got to get him right. I feel like at this point, Smiley is going to be a guy that you're going to look for to play next year, more so this year. Again, he might debut at the end of this year, but if we're looking at 3 to 5 weeks, that would mean Josh Smiley is due back again by round 16 to round 18. And that's not mentioning a potential setback. Again, let's just say he comes back round 17, right? And hopefully no setbacks. Touch wood, no setbacks. He will go into the VFL, play half a game, then he'll go the next week, play probably 3/4 to a full game, and the week after that, I think he'll play a genuine full game where he's up to his best healthy self, hopefully, and then maybe by around 2021, he might be pushing for AFL. Again, I think the similar thing is going to be with Taj Houghton. Taj Houghton, I think, will come in probably 6 weeks. He'll probably come in around round 19. He'll play VFL. He'll probably play half a game. He'll probably play 3/4 the next week, a full game after that. Then maybe another full game when he's fully healthy, and he might be, I think, back for round 22, round 23, pushing for AFL. Again, I don't think either him and Smiley are going to get picked at this point. There are so many guys that should be in front of them who have just been healthy and have actually just had a pre-season, and you don't want to rush Houghton or Smiley. Again, that's what I think about the two young guys there. I think they're more projects for next year now rather than looking at them for this year. Again, a very similar thing could be said about Josh Gibkus, who was a 4 to 7 week return as well. So, as mentioned, he will, with the half game in the VFL, the 3 quarters, all that, he'll probably be back, like, again, round 20 to round 22, pushing, like, for the AFL type thing. So, he'll be another guy I think you're looking at for maybe next year. So, we'll definitely have to wait and see, but the thought of being able to add Gibkus, Houghton, and Smiley back in round like 21 to 23 is going to be good and all. You're just going to be really, really careful. You don't want to re-injure anything. I think they'll be just playing VFL, getting the groove into things, and they'll be hopefully ready for next year. Again, a guy I think will come probably straight back into it is Harry Armstrong's a 5 to 7 week hammy. He had a big pre-season. He's already played a ton of AFL games. He's very much had a lot of conditioning. I'm assuming by round 18 or 20, when he's back, he'll be automatically in the VFL playing, hopefully a fair bit. And yeah, could be in the AFL very, very shortly. But again, he's another guy. You don't want to rush him. And when you've got Thomas Sims and you've got Jonty Fall playing such good footy, like they're playing much better now. The games that they played against the Giants was their best overall games. And they actually looked like they belong at the AFL. They were taking contested marks. They were leading up the ground well. All of the above. When you got those guys doing what they're doing, you don't want to, again, also rush a guy like Armstrong. So they're going to be careful with all these guys. But I think he will be the one that, if anyone's going to come straight back in out of all those young guys other than Lawler, he'll be one that's pretty close. And then Thompson Dao, which was a really weird injury. He injured his patella. Has another 5 to 8 weeks, which kind of sucks. I mean, I actually thought Thompson Dao was playing some really, really good footy on the wing and on the inside as well. Actually, he tries his absolute guts out and he tackles really well. I miss him already in the AFL. I don't know if he's been re-signed yet at the time I'm making this video. I would re-sign him 100% for a year. I kind of hope they give him 2 years, because I think if the worst thing Thompson Dao is now going to be is a depth player, that is really good. Considering a year and a half ago, he was a delisted player, pretty much. And now he could be, worst case scenario, depth player, which I think is really, really positive. So, again, a lot of injuries, a lot of young guys who, in my opinion, will be more ready for next year. I think they'll be very calm. They'll be very relaxed. Taj Houghton, Josh Smiley, Josh Gibkus, those guys I think will be projects for next year. Armstrong, Lawler, I think they'll probably come straight back into the AFL nearly. Armstrong maybe a week in the VFL. We'll have to wait and see. Thompson Dao hopefully straight back into the AFL. He deserves it. And Jaden Shaw, that's going to be an interesting one. I want to hear from you guys about Jaden Shaw, because I think there has been some arguments about where he should overall play. And as I said, I think he should play as a forward. I just don't want to see him really in this backline again, knowing that our backline is so goddamn good and so many young players coming through. Why should we stop the development of a guy like Caleb Smith when Jaden Shaw can play other positions? Like, we have seen him play forward. He started off as a forward, and I think it was his first game against Collingwood in 2016, I think it was 2016. He kicked 3 goals in his very first ever game. Why can't he go play forward? I mean, people have been saying on the wing and on the inside midfield as well. I haven't really seen him ever play in there, so I don't know if that's going to be an option. But we'll definitely have to wait and see. I think he'll be back in pretty shortly, and that's going to be one that I'm excited to see how that does unfold. Again, very positive news for Richmond's injury list. The fact that there is no long-term injuries anymore. Again, touch wood, we don't get any. But the fact that there isn't any is something that's really awesome, considering we had like 5 or 6 ACLs last year. Yeah, it's very, very positive sign for the Tigers, and I think hopefully they'll come very much into next year really refreshed with this young team. Again, I'm very much excited to see how that does go again. highly recommend you guys leave a like on this video to let me know you enjoy it. That'd be very appreciative if you guys did that. Subscribe to my channel for latest sports content and use my gaming channel, which will be getting linked in the description down below as well. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.